Welcome to the video. The following is just a short video that I wanted to do entitled An Abused, Broken Harley Quinn Fan's Opinion on Lady Gaga's Harley Quinn. As you can see, I'm pretty worn down, and this, not to spoil the video, I'm not going to spoil the video where this is going, but okay, so a new Joker 2 trailer released on Tuesday, and I was anticipating it because I thought I might do a video on it or something like that, and then I didn't do a video. And that's because I didn't have a lot to say about it at the time. And because I recently did a video, and it was, I'll link it in the description, but it was about why fictional characters matter and what happens when they get destroyed, and the worst feeling in the world when you feel that you can't be invested in it anymore. And I talk about Harley often on this channel pretty much. In real life though, I've become a bit more detached than I have in years because of everything that I've gone through and everything that has happened to this character. And this, make no mistake, is this is the worst thing that I've ever seen happen to a character. I'm not talking about Joker 2. I'm talking about generally, like generally what happened to the character, becoming Deadpool, doing these disgusting things, all the R-rated show, the ridiculous pornographic comics, everything that I have detailed that they put this character through, the fact that she has no identity anymore, all of it. I think of, when I found out that they were going to do an R-rated show with the character, and that just to me, because knowing Harley as a character that started in a kids show, that just seemed completely foreign to me. That was like the worst thing that could have ever happened, to find out that show, and then to have it go on to this day, even though not many people watch it. And you can tell that, you can always tell whether or not a lot of people are watching the show. For example, The Boys, that is the show that, if you talk about The Boys or Invincible or House of the Dragon, stuff like that, pretty much everyone knows what you're talking about. Not a lot of people know what you're talking about when you're talking about an R-rated Harley Quinn show. Anyway, doesn't matter. It still exists. And, multiple movies going forward with the Margot Robbie version, which comparatively are like the tamest versions of the stuff that they've done with her, but multiple of that. It was like back in 2022, I think, or 2021, that I first stepped away from paying attention to the character in comics at all, which was a big thing for me. And then I got sucked back in because I was working for a website at the time and they had Harley Quinn comics to review, and I stepped up to review them because nobody else wanted to. I used that as a way to talk about the character for a long time. And I used that to talk about the character for a long time. And then just, boy, I read the worst things that I have ever read, like in terms of both quality and, I guess I've heard worse, but in terms of a character that I once cared about and where they took her in the comics and just how gross and vapid and just mind numbing those comics are, just awful stuff. So, now the reason I'm telling you all of this is I've gone through a lot with this character, and this year, stopping doing those comic reviews, I had it originally that I was going to do an article on the character, and then but I stepped away. I had to be like, no, I just can't do this anymore. I can't talk about it anymore. So it's been miraculous that on this channel I started bringing her up a lot more than ever. And I did a video very recently that got a lot of views, talking about Harley being the most destroyed character of all time. I did a video a couple years ago about how Margot Robbie isn't a good Harley Quinn, and that recently really shot up. So people want to hear about this, but I've just been through the ringer so much. A really terrible thing has happened to me behind the scenes, because I'll still talk about the character with a lot of passion, but behind the scenes, there's become more and more of a detachment to me. And like, it's not a willing thing. It's just, I feel more and more detached from this character than ever, because this has been going on for so many years. And any sort of nominal change that happens in a positive way, it has just been nominal. Like, for example, I liked it when we were finally getting rid of the hyper trashy, over sexualized Harley that we had for a while. But that amounted to nothing really. It didn't really bring the entire character back. I like it that recently comics are going back to her red and black hair, but they're still doing the two tone thing, so that's kind of a moot point. We got some good material over the years. Like they did the Sound Mind podcast, they did the Harleen book, they did the early White Knight thing, but none of them had much of an effect on Harley as an overall character being fixed going forward. And I've never seen that with an individual character before, because all characters go through pathways that you don't like and that you think are untrue to them and make you upset. But usually they come back, and this character has not come back. So now, after I've said all of that, we come to Joker 2. And normally, this would be something that I would be excited about and I would really be defending, because the trailers look good. The most recent trailer did not give me a lot to talk about. It didn't reveal anything that we didn't already know. There is a lot of good things I can say about it from the perspective of Harley. I saw a viral tweet the other day that said it's basically not Harley. It's because her name is Lee and she's not a psychiatrist. This Harley in Joker 2 is more accurate to what the character is supposed to be than Margot Robbie's and any of the recent stuff. And I'll tell you why. Because maybe the thing is that a lot of people just associate Harley with the superficial elements that have been flanderized like a lot of modern versions do. Like the fact, oh, check the box, she was supposed to be a psychiatrist. Oh, she's supposed to be loud and quirky. Harley's personality has been so destroyed, it's been completely forgotten, and the fact that she was a psychiatrist does not come up apart from a quirky reference. It doesn't matter to her character anymore. It's just a quirky reference. So you have Joker 2, and I'm hearing Lady Gaga say that Harley in this movie is supposed to be like a Charles Manson fangirl. That's like what she's based off of, and I'm like, that's Harley. Thank you. Harley is a serial killer's groupie. Thank you, Lady Gaga and Todd Phillips and all you people behind the scenes. You have gotten the fundamental element of the character correct that none of these other modern versions have done, because they are afraid of doing that. And so I'm like, that is more accurate than anything we've seen in a while. Things in the trailer like Harley setting Arkham Asylum on fire to get Joker out of there, to rescue him, that's Harley. Harley seeing the Joker as her escape, as her freedom card apart from real life, to get her away from real life, that's Harley. Harley breaking into a store and stealing a TV because the Joker is on it, that's Harley. Thank you very much. Wanting to put on a performance, that's Harley. This Harley does not have any of the high-pitched voice or the jokes or anything like that. And true, she's not a psychiatrist, but she's more in tune with Harley than anything I've seen in a long time. And true, if she came out 10, 15 years ago, she would be considered very rightly an alternate universe version, because she's not a psychiatrist. She doesn't have a lot of the traditional elements. But since then, since Harley's been already changed into a different character that's more like Deadpool at the very most generous interpretation, when Harley has a character at all, going back to this version that has these elements is more like Harley. The fact that she's even allowed to be in love with the Joker is Harley. And so that's what the point I want to get. And because when I get into it, I can be very passionate about defending this version. And from the marketing right now, I'm a little bit more confident that they're not going to do the empowered woman thing with this version of Harley. Does not seem to be the tone that they are setting. It seems more like it's from Arthur's perspective, and that they're still going to make him sympathetic. It seems like maybe Harley becomes the Joker or a worse version of him at the end, and that's the whole tragedy. But I can get behind that if they build up to it correctly. I don't have a problem with Harley attacking the Joker or betraying him or doing evil things herself. I have no problem with that. My problem is trying to take Harley, who's supposed to be the psychopathic villain, a vulnerable character, a crazy person, and trying to say that she is somehow a feminist icon or anything like that. So far, that has not been the tone that has been set for this movie. We have to see what it does. But so far, everything looks good. And as a Harley fan, I should be excited about it. But here's the thing, and this is why I did that very disheartened beginning. I have been fooled and tricked and gotten my hopes up so many times over the past years that now, unfortunately, when I see something that might kind of be good for the character or that I might normally enjoy, I don't feel it's hard for me to feel anything for it, if anything at all. And it's because I've seen this happen so many times before. I will have something that comes out, and all of the stuff that comes out for Harley that seems like it's going to actually be good is always alternate universe because they have to keep the main universe that Deadpool crap. And every time I get my hopes up that this alternate universe thing, it'll be well received, it'll influence how DC does this character going forward, I've been disappointed. So I don't know how I can truly get excited for this. I'm sure if the movie actually turns out and then it'll be a good watch, but the problem with me being hyped about it is it's like I can't immerse myself in this character anymore. It's kind of like I got back into X-Men and remembered how much I love the character of Rogue this year. And even if I don't agree with a version of that character, generally the character has an identity and you can engage with the fan base and talk about things, and everybody agrees on the general identity of the character. That's not the way it is with Harley. They have butchered this fan base and no one understands her anymore. I remember it used to be well understood. Harley is in love with the Joker, and no, it's not supposed to be a good thing. That's the entire point. But people don't seem to understand that anymore. If you say you like Harley with the Joker, they instantly make an assumption about you that, oh, you want her to be in an abusive relationship. And I'm like, yes, that's the point. She's a messed up character. But no one understands that anymore because the communication on this character has been so off. And like I've said, I've just been with this character for so long and rooted for it for so long. I'm expecting, as of now, best case scenario, if Joker 2 is good, if it turns out correctly, then it'll be a good watch. But you would have to have very, very major cultural impact, I think, to change what Harley is now. And I don't think that there's really a problem with me myself being cynical about the character's future because I feel like I've been rooting for her to get better more than anyone and staying on that. So I think that I've earned the right to be a bit cynical about this and to just be like, is it ever really going to change after it's been so long and people have been so vocal about it and nothing ever changes? And like I said in a previous video, that's the real heartbreaking thing when a character that means something to you, when you feel disconnected from that character because of all that's happened and it's just been so disrupted and mangled, you can't believe in that character anymore, you can't enjoy it anymore. And unfortunately, that's where I'm at with the whole Harley situation. And once again, oh, I want Joker 2 to be good. I think that I would be able to be a lot more invigorated by it if we were actually seeing some active change in the character, not just, baby steps, 2 steps forward, 3 steps back. This is an alternate universe, and it is an alternate universe. If it was something that was supposed to be set in like the main universe of DC, it would be different. And with traditional versions of these characters, it would be different. But as of now, I'm just not in a position where I can really get my hopes up for stuff going forward. And I hope that people understand that's how I feel about it right now. But I think I've earned the right to feel that way a bit. I would never ever stop rooting for Harley to change as a character and to be back what it was. It would be a painful road back with all that they've done. I don't believe that anything is impossible, but right now I am very cynical about the future. And once again, I'll say it for one more final time, I think I've earned that. But that's all I got for you guys today. Thank you, patrons. If you want to become a patron of this channel, as these 7 wonderful people have done, you can check out the Patreon page, and we'll have more great videos in the future, and I will see you guys next time.